Welcome once again to the book reading of Jack Canfield's The Success Principles. You are with me, Dr. Ashwini Chube, and I hope you are having a great day wherever you are. Today we are back with reading the book. Like I mentioned, we made this book of the month in in January, for our book club with me and Neelam Sharma. Both of us, we have co-founded the Unicorn Readers Read to Heal Forum. And every month till last year, till every month, we would read a book a month, share the quotes, and encourage more people to read. But this year we thought, thoda kuch alag karte yaar. Let's do something slightly different so that more people start reading, more people start connecting to books. And the whole idea of this book club is read to heal. So we have a very focused niche, which is we read a lot of healing books, spiritual books, self help, and personal development books. This is the niche we use. So that's what we tried to make it very clear just 3 years ago when we recreated the book club and, kind of relaunched it. And this year, this book has been showing up for both of us for quite some time. Jack Canfield is one of my favorite authors. And this was simply beautiful. And hence, what we thought was, what if we choose to read this book? Because this book has about 62, 63, yeah, 63 success principles. And like I mentioned in the very first video, that a person went from homeless to having a thriving business. Someone who read this book and he told Jack Canfield that I actually implemented each and every of the principles which you have taught, and that's how he changed his life. So we thought, what if reading this book can change lives of so many? Let me tell you, we are walking the talk and we are trying to implement everything that is given in this book at Unicorn Insight. So I would say that what if you could do that as well? And like I always say and brag about, I have this signed copy by Jack Canfield with his signature. When I met him earlier this year in the month of February, he gave this copy to me and it was amazing, right? So let's start with chapter 4. The fourth principle, believe it is possible. How many of you believe that what you want is possible? I'll tell you everything in one sentence. If you believe it's possible for you, no one can take it away from you. The universe will make everything possible, that what you want, what you desire, what you wish, what you would like to manifest will come to you. But even if you have slightest doubt that you will get it, it will not come to you. This is from my own experience. 10 years ago, I wrote about 100 goals. Out of those 100 goals, I almost got 97, 98. There's a big tick mark. Things I thought which were never possible have also happened with me. And it's I've never gotten to really think about how things work, but they just work. Now, out of 100, if I have actually manifested 97 goals, if it can work with me, it can work with anyone. And what about those three goals which did not manifest? The only reason it did not manifest is I was not convinced that I deserve that. That's that's something I'm telling you from my first-hand experience. And out of 100, if you can actually create 97 goals, I know there will be people who will keep crying about the three goals which did not happen, and they will say, oh, but this thing did not happen. And I ask them, what about the 97 goals that happened? And this is exactly how things work. And I also believe that if three goals have not happened, it could be because A, it has yet to come, it is yet to happen. Maybe the divine timing has not come. B, the universe is giving me something better. And C, it's not even relevant. Maybe, I may not even want it when I look back at it. And this is exactly how everything works in the universe. So I am a manifestation coach, and I today tell all my students, everyone who comes for whether it is a coaching session, whether it is for my workshops, I always tell people that believe it's possible, because if you believe it's possible, it will work. If you do not believe it's possible, it will not. Wow. So Napoleon Hill once said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. In fact, the mind is such a powerful instrument that it can deliver to you literally everything you want. But you have to believe that what you want is possible. Most of the times, the journey which happens in your life is because you do not believe something is possible, to you believe what is possible for you. Which means when people start maybe, coaching sessions, group sessions with, I mean, a set of sessions with me, they start from a point that they say that I want it, but I feel I will not get it. From that place, they come to a place where they start believing that things will work for them. And once that happens, no, they become unstoppable. That's exactly how the entire journey works. The journey is not about anything external changing until you change inside of you. And once you change inside of you, everything can change. So you get what you expect. Scientists used to believe that humans responded to information flowing into the brain from the outside world. But today, they are learning instead that we respond to what the brain, on the basis of previous experience, expects to happen next. Okay, so then he's talked about doctors, and there he says that doctors in Texas, for example, study the effects of arthroscopic knee surgery, assigned patients with worn out knees to one of three surgical procedures: scrapping out the knee joint, washing out the joint, or doing nothing. During the nothing operations, doctor anesthetized patients, made three incisions in the knee to insert surgical instruments, and then pretended to operate. 2 years after the surgery, patients who underwent the pretend surgery reported the same amount of relief from pain and swelling as those who had received the actual treatments. The brain expected the surgery to improve the knee, and it did. Why does the brain work in this way? Neuropsychologists who study expectancy theory say that we spend our whole lives becoming conditioned. Through a lifetime's worth of events, our brain actually learns what to expect next, whether it actually happens or not. And because our brain expects something will happen a certain way, we often achieve exactly what we anticipate. This is why it is so important to hold positive expectations into your mind. Whether you replace your old negative expectations with more positive ones, when you begin to believe that what you want is possible, your brain will actually take over the job of accomplishing that possibility for you. Better than that, your brain will actually expect to achieve the outcome. And there is a beautiful book by another amazing author, Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he calls this the placebo effect. I would recommend you to read that book, and if not, maybe we can read it sometime in our book club after we are done reading this. So, there he says that our brain is wired in such a way that when we expect something to happen, it happens. And that's why there are so many people who have created experiments in even the medical field, giving people a placebo pill and expecting them to recover, and they did. So you got to believe. So now here again, he's given a case study of Tug McGraw, the father of legendary country singer Tim McGraw, struck out batter Willie Whitson to earn the Phillies the 1980 World Series title. Sports Illustrated captured an immortal image of elation on the picture's mount. An image few people knew was played out as early as McGraw had planned it. And when he actually experienced that, he says that it was as if I had been there 1,000 times. When I was growing up, I would pitch to my father in the backyard. We would always get there. It was the bottom of the ninth in the World Series with two outs and three men on base, and I would always bear down and strike them out. Because Tug had conditioned his brain day after day in the back out that eventually arrived, he was living the dream for real. And that's why so many Olympic athletes have been, along with the training they take physically, they do visualize it. Believe in yourself and go for it. Tim Ferriss believed in himself, and in fact, he believed so strongly that his abilities that he won the national Sanshu kickboxing title in 6 weeks after being introduced to the sport. He again talks about how he achieved it is again about believing. Now, it helps to have someone else believe in you first. I think this is very important. And that is where I always tell people that always have someone who's like an accountability partner or someone who sees the best in you, who encourages you. We do not need those so-called practical and realistic friends because they are not practical and realistic, they are just negative. Someone asked me recently that she had a colleague who was very negative about everything. Every time she would say something good, that colleague would always bring her down and tell her, but that's not realistic, be practical, be real. And she started believing in her more and her vision of the world. And this person is a coaching client. She had come to me once and she said, Ashwini, no matter what I do, this colleague keeps pulling me down. And I discuss everything with her because we practically have lunch together, we work together, we travel together. And she just keeps telling me, be practical, be practical. And over a period of time, I have become negative. And I think being practical is being negative. What do I do? So I told her that, you don't have to stop hanging out with her because that was not possible. They used to actually go to work every day and they would work together, they would have lunch together. So I told her that maybe you stop sharing a lot of minute details of your life with her and always try to, when you talk with her, make sure you don't bring personal topics into picture. Try to talk about something else. Try to talk about, say, movies, try to talk about music, and move all the focus from your personal life to something external and keep doing your stuff. Now, she started having these conversations which were totally external. She would talk about maybe the latest movie which has come up or, some work which is, say, she would talk about the weather, she would talk about other things. And very cleverly, she moved the focus from sharing details of her personal life. The moment she would ask questions, she would not encourage much of that and she would very tactfully change the topic. Now, how many of you would ask me, how do you do that? In my coaching sessions, I actually walk you through how to do that and how to actually use those tools and how to. So, if you want to experience, you can definitely book coaching sessions with me. I would love to do that. So, the moral of the story is this lady slowly moved all the focus from her. Now, over a period of time, she started seeing better, more peace in her life, she had more ease with everything, and she stopped believing in what this woman was telling her all throughout, and she gathered her positive self out. She also started talking about, so she did not tell her to, read books or something, but she told her that, I'm currently reading this book. And initially she used to just put her down. But later on, she said that somehow, because I shifted the conversation from something external to sharing about my life, things happened in such a way that this woman was put on another project, which made her and this one's working hours different. So they stopped going to work together, and she would travel alone in the train, and she got time to read books. And eventually, it happened that the kind of, they were so together and they were almost like Siamese twins. Like like I told her that, you don't have to be like Siamese twins all the time stuck to each other. From that space, she went to a space where she started being on her own. She made new friends. And now this woman doesn't interfere because now over a period of time, their closeness, their proximity with each other reduced. The universe made it possible because I always tell her that this was not an external condition or a fluke. This happened because you chose to raise your vibration so high that she cannot catch you there. And then she also learned the art of, creating her own space so that such toxic negative vampires don't come to her place. And everything changed for her. So first and foremost, why did I tell you this story? We don't need these kind of people in our life. When you learn something new, we are very excited about it. So I tell people when they do, say, vision board workshops or all this, I tell them that you need not tell people who do not believe in you about these things because they will bring you down and they will tell you that how these things do not work. Now, we need to have sympathy with these people because poor things, they have really gone through a lot of toxic stuff in their life, which has made them believe that negativity is being practical. Okay. And they oftentimes they gaslight you or they manipulate you by telling you that you are a very rosy picture, lovey-dovey eyed person, and the reality is very harsh. But the truth is they are seeing life through a very dark lens because Unfortunately, they have gone through some difficult situations. They are not the intellectual ones. They are, in fact, the ones who have little knowledge about things. So they will gaslight you to believe that they are intellectual and you are stupid. That's why you believe in all these self-help and growth things. But the truth is, they are the ones who are actually, they need it, but they are not choosing it. And they are choosing to live their life in a very mediocre, miserable way. And unfortunately, that is good for them, but it may not be good for you. So if you have such friends, I would say stay away from them, or the best is do not share your minute details with them. Just just keep yourself in your own cocoon of light and never ever take those magical energies away from you. At the same time, you also need to have people who believe in you and who support you. And that's why in Unicorn Insight, we make those support circles, group of people who support each other when they are going through a very difficult time. They support each other. Like we have our innermost tribe where we do share a lot of stuff vulnerably when someone is going through something difficult. And one of the persons on the group, the job is to pep them up. And once you do that, it just helps them to get back into what I call as the vortex. Now, if you want to believe more in your dreams, you need 10 people who tell you that your dreams are possible. Imagine waking up and 10 people telling you every day that your dreams are possible. How will you feel? Now, an extreme picture to this is you wake up and every day 10 people tell you that how you are stupid and how it is not possible and how you have to be practical. How do you feel? So it's very important to have the right circle of people and always know that you choose the people. You don't meet people by accident, but you choose whom to keep in your life and whom not. So make that choice and make that powerful choice where you meet and stay with those people. So now here, there is this beautiful example of 20-year-old Ruben Gonzalez, who showed up at the Olympic team training center in Lake Placid, New York. He had in his pocket the business card of a Houston businessman who believed in his Olympic dream. Ruben was there to learn the sport of luge, the sport of 9 to 8 aspirants give up after the first season. Almost everyone breaks more than one bone before mastering the 90 mile per hour race against time in enclosed mine downhill track of concrete and ice. But Ruben had a dream, a passion, commitment not to quit, and support of his friend Craig back in Houston. When Ruben got back into his room after first day of training, he called up Craig. Craig, this is nuts. My side hurts. I think I broke my foot. That is it. I'm going back to soccer. Craig interrupted him. Ruben, get in front of a mirror. What? I said get in front of a mirror. Ruben got up, stretched the phone cord, stood in front of a full length mirror. Now repeat after me. No matter how bad it looks and how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. Ruben felt like an idiot staring at himself in the mirror. So, in most wimpy, wishy-washy way, he said, no matter how bad it is and how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. Come on, say it right. You are Mr. Olympic man. That is all ever you could talk about. Are you going to do or not? Ruben started getting serious and he said it again. No matter how bad it is, how bad it gets, I'm going to make it again and again. About the fifth time Ruben said it, he thought, hey, this feels kind of good. I'm standing a bit straighter. By the 10th time he said, jumped up in the air and said, I don't care what happens. I'm going to make it. I'm going to break legs, bones heal. I'll come back with it. I will be an Olympian. It's amazing what happens to you after your self-confidence when you get an eyeball to eyeball with yourself. Forcefully tell yourself what you're going to do. Whatever your dream is, look at yourself in the mirror and declare that you're indeed going to achieve it no matter what's the price. Ruben Gonzalez made that declaration which changed his life. He went on to compete in three separate winter games in the luge: Calgary in 1988, Albertville in 1992, Salt Lake City in 2002, and he's currently for the 2006 Torino Winter Olympics, where he'll be 43 years old, competing against athletes half his age. How inspiring is that? And when we do our manifestation trainings, which we started last July, which got over just a week ago, we asked our participants to actually look and stand in front of the mirror, look into their eyes, and say affirmations as if they have already made it. Initially, they found it very stupid. Most people said that I feel very stupid. But eventually, the ones who practice daily started creating so much magic in their life. See, your brain doesn't understand the difference between what is happening, versus what are you pretending is happening. Our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. So, what I would say right now to each one of you who is present here is tell your mind whatever you feel is impossible for you is possible and start seeing the difference. This is the only key. Like I said, I really achieved about 97 things out of the 100 things I wrote. The only reason the 100 things did not happen because I was not convinced it can happen. And you know what? If I decide today and I convince myself that can happen anytime. And the question is, do you really want the things you wanted 10 years ago? Sometimes we want different things. Our wishes evolve. Our what we want evolves. But there is a certain passion about something which is constant for you and which you would really want. And that thing is always going to happen no matter what you think. So this is the end of chapter 4. It was a very small chapter. I think most of the chapters in this book, at least the ones I've read till now, are little. So I hope you've got this book and if I hope you read this book. If not, feel free to buy your own copy and make sure you read the book. This book can change your life. And let's keep reading. If you aren't yet part of the Unicorn Readers and Healers book club, Read to Heal forum, do drop a message below so that I can add you to that group. We love doing and sending the little things about the book to each one of you. So let's do more of that. Let's make this world a better place. And wherever you are in the world, I wish you the best. Thank you for reading with me. Thank you for watching this video. And yes, if you have someone in your life who really is feeling very down in life, who's feeling very unsupported and who doesn't know what to do, send them these video, guys. You never knows whose life will change. With this, I take your leave. I will see you next week with yet another video. Till then, have a wonderful day. Keep creating magic. Believe in yourself. And always know that you have the power. No matter what it takes, you will be there. Thank you and bye-bye.